Welcome back to 4 Joes by Joe. I'm your regular Joe Justin here.
And I'm Jack.
And we've got one heck of a cool review for you today. We're both getting into mini rock crawlers and RCs, the cars just as a whole. So you're going to see more of that content coming your way. But today specifically, what we got for you is the Venture 18 made by HPI Racing. Quick shout out to Hobbytown in Duluth, Minnesota. You guys really set us up. Technically, I think they're actually in a suburb of Duluth, but regardless, you get the idea.
Yep, Hobbytown.
Yep, Hobbytown. And these come in 2 colors, black and red. We've got the black versions, and also 2 different model numbers well, not model numbers, 2 different motors. One is brushless and one is brushed. And basically, if you get the brushless, you wind up paying more, which is like $240 versus like $180.
And this is what the inside of it looks like, just for the inside.
Right, which is a good point. Here's the brushed version internals, and here is the brushless. And both of ours are brushless, and they're 4-wheel drive. So we upgraded one. HPI does a great job of giving you a bunch of upgradable parts that are specifically made for their vehicles. And so we purchased a bunch of upgradable parts. So I thought it'd be a cool comparison. We upgraded one. This one will get upgraded later, but this one is stock and this one is upgraded. So here's just a look at the stock version. And there's nothing wrong with the stock version. As you'll see, we'll do a comparison here, and you'll get an idea of how capable the stock version is. So, all right, we want to grab down that one. Okay, so what we did here is the upgraded version has upgraded shocks, rims. We went with the stock tires that come with it, just upgraded the rims. The rims have a brass weight, adding to the unsprung weight that exists and lowering the center of gravity. So this one's actually, I wouldn't say significantly heavier than this one, but it's noticeable.
Yep.
We also added the diff covers, which is just more for cosmetics than anything. And we also added metal. Man, why can't I ever remember that? I've done this video like 3 times, but we've done metal drive shafts.
Yep.
But something cool worth noting.
Yep.
The internal parts on the differential is it's metal right out of the gate on the stock one, so that should definitely add to your durability long term. So I'm gonna have my son here. He's gonna take the stock version for a rip up this. Basically makeshift. We had made a quick rock crawler course, and we're asking a lot out of it with the height of that block's like roughly 3.5 inches tall. So he's gonna try ripping up here with that.
I usually help it get up this first, so it can get like up the course. Come on. Oh. I want to start back on the bottom, so I'm just gonna
take your time. Back it up. Yep, there you go. And these things are very durable. The guys at Hobbytown let us test these out, and they got a really cool rock climbing course there. And it's amazing how much abuse they can actually take. Back it up. There you go.
So these are Lego blocks.
Well, they're not quite Lego. They're big Legos.
Yeah, big Legos. And then there's a safer.
Are you in crawl mode right now, Jack?
Yeah. There's a safer spot. I need to add kind of a different there, but This will have to just go like that now. And then it goes
So
down.
as you can tell, they're pretty capable. It does a pretty good job. There's 2 different modes on the controller.
Yep.
So on the controller, this controls your lights, and there's a fast and crawl mode right on the controller, which is pretty sweet, with a lot of additional settings.
Yep.
So there's a lot of options, and it's a pretty well suited.
So we're gonna mess around with this truck right now, just for fun right now.
So this is the upgraded version, and you can see it with those portal axles, giving it a little bit extra height on the tires and ground clearance. It hops up there quite a bit easier. But I wanted to showcase the fact that the stock is still pretty capable.
Oh.
And obviously my son, he's got to slow it down a little bit. He kind of only knows, you don't have to give it all the beans. Don't give it all the beans. He hasn't found that happy medium yet. So you could definitely crawl up a little bit slower.
And then it just flips. So what I do with my vehicle is I go onto this. See if his can do it, because I've done it a lot. Very.
So they're pretty cool little models. You can see that's about how tight it turns.
And if you make it go to night, then it grows more darker.
Yeah, he wants to showcase to you the lights, which they are pretty cool. But also, there's something worth mentioning is, so I've got it in the high mode right now, and she's pretty torquey. You could really rip around a yard, so if you're not just into rock clawing, you can also let it rip and turn it into basically a basher. So if that's what you're into,
you can weigh up in
these definitely will fit just about anybody. Most everybody can afford them. They're a pretty sweet gig, and like I said, straight out of the box, they're pretty decent.
I'll just have to help it.
So one thing I forgot to mention before during the review is there's a couple things you'll want to know. The bed is or not the bed, excuse me. The body is like a flip style. There's just a little deal here up front that just pivots, goes through the hole, and locks the body down. So it's pretty simple. The battery mount is good. The Velcro keeps the battery where it needs to be. And this is just roughly how how yours might look. This is the brushless style. And like I said, the one nice thing about the brushless is you can creep a lot easier. If you do get the shocks, the upgraded shocks, what I would suggest doing is taking the springs off of your stock springs that come off, and put those springs on your new upgraded shocks. These happen to be the lighter ones that come with it, and they're fine because they are adjustable. And I guess we'll go over a longer term review later. But on mine, which is currently on the Charger, I put those stronger springs on, and we'll see if the performance is different. But I think the rebound is a lot better with those stiffer springs on. Like I said, these are the not as stiff. This is what comes with it, and they're just, I just don't think they get the rebound that it actually needs. So I would definitely do that if I was you. This is a 1/18th scale. and which was great for inside and outside use. Really, it's just big enough outside that you can go and do just about any obstacles for the most part. And on those rainy, shitty days, you can bring it inside and still let it rip and not be affected. So it's a pretty cool rig.
Right from the evening.
appreciate you guys watching the videos, and stick around. I'm sure we'll have more outside content. Just wanted to get this out there and let you guys check it out. Thanks for watching 4 Joe's by Joe, and we'll catch you next time.
Yes.